All right, let's jump right into the future of warfare. And I mean literally. We're talking about laser air defense. Today, we're putting two really interesting systems under the microscope. We've got Israel's Iron Beam, which has already seen combat, and we're comparing it to India's own ambitious project, their Directed Energy Weapon, or DEW. We're going to break down the tech, the strategy, and what this all really means.
So to really get why laser weapons are such a massive deal, we first need to talk about what I'm calling the drone overload problem. See, modern air defense is facing a numbers game, and frankly, the economics are just not looking good.
I mean, think about it. This is the question keeping military planners up at night. The sky can suddenly be filled with tons of low-cost, easy-to-make threats, so how in the world do you counter an attack that's designed to just overwhelm you? The old way of doing things is getting really, really expensive.
And here's why. Get this. That's what a single conventional interceptor missile can cost. You know, something from a system like David's Sling. And for the really high-end stuff, like the Arrow 3, you're talking millions per shot. Now just imagine firing one of those at a drone that might have cost a few $1,000s to build. You see the problem?
It's a simple, brutal equation. You can have the best missiles on Earth, but if you run out of them, or just run out of money to pay for them, your shield suddenly has a giant hole in it. Adversaries are basically weaponizing economics, and for the country on defense, that's a losing battle. You need a totally different kind of weapon.
And that brings us to India's own effort to solve this problem. Let's take a look at the homegrown, cutting-edge tech they've been working on.
So India's Defense Research and Development Organization, or DRDO, has been hard at work developing its own answer, a homegrown laser weapon system. The whole idea is to create a cost-effective defense against exactly this kind of swarm threat.
Now, this number is really important to remember. 30 kilowatts. That's the power level of the current prototype from the DRDO. And look, that is a huge technological achievement, and it sets a really strong foundation for what India wants to do with laser defense.
This is a classic Make in India project, and it's super ambitious. But we have to be clear about where it stands right now. It's still in an advanced development phase, it's had some limited field trials, and that 30 kilowatt power level, well, while it's a great start, it does limit the weapon's effective range and what kind of threats it can take down.
But now, a totally different solution has been put on the table, one that could be a real game changer for India. And that, of course, brings us to Israel's Iron Beam. So what is the Iron Beam? It's a high-energy laser weapon system built specifically to deal with that short-range problem. Things like rockets, mortars, and, yep, you guessed it, drones. And right off the bat, you see the critical difference, 100 kilowatts. And this, right here, this is probably the single most important thing to know. This is not a prototype. It's not a concept on a drawing board. The Iron Beam has been used in actual combat. It's been tested under fire, and it has worked.
So, what can this thing do? Well, it throws up a defensive shield that reaches out to about 10 kilometers. And get this, its magazine is basically infinite. I mean, how cool is that? As long as you can feed it electricity, it can keep on firing. It's already been woven in as the fifth and newest layer of Israel's world-famous air defense network.
So on one hand, we have this promising domestic system that's still in the works, and on the other, a mature combat-tested system that's being offered. So how do they really compare when you put them side by side? It's actually pretty simple when you break it down like this. You've got Israel's 100 kilowatt mature battle-proven Iron Beam. And then you have India's 30 kilowatt DUF, which is still on its development journey. To put it bluntly, one's a finished product, the other is a work in progress.
Visually, this just says it all, doesn't it? The Iron Beam packs more than 3 times the power. And in the world of laser weapons, power is everything. It directly translates to more range, a faster kill time, and the ability to take out tougher targets. Looking at the numbers like this, you can see the power gap, you see the status difference, but the most mind-blowing number is that last one, cost per shot. For the Iron Beam, it's about $2. $2. That doesn't just change the game, it completely flips the entire economic model of air defense on its head. Okay, but this whole potential deal for India is about so much more than just buying a new piece of hardware. This actually fits into a much bigger strategic picture.
And this part is absolutely crucial. Israel isn't just offering to sell the finished product. The deal on the table includes a full technology transfer, working together on development, and producing it in India. That lines up perfectly with India's long-term goals.
This approach is just a massive strategic win. It means India wouldn't just be a customer, it would learn how to build, maintain, and even improve the system itself.
This gives a huge boost to the Make in India initiative, and most importantly, it leads to long-term technological self-reliance. You're not dependent on anyone else in a crisis.
So, where would this powerful new capability fit in? It would plug right into Mission Sudarshan Chakra. That's India's incredibly ambitious plan to build a single, AI-powered, multi-layered air defense grid to protect the whole country by 2035.
And this is where it all comes together beautifully. The Iron Beam would create a brand new, super cheap defensive layer for that grid. A central AI brain would see threats coming in and decide in milliseconds. Okay, do I use an expensive missile for that one, or can I just zap it with the $2 laser shot? It makes the entire network smarter, faster, and a whole lot more sustainable.
So that leaves us with this final thought. Getting and integrating this battle-proven laser tech could be the very thing that fast-forwards India's own ambitions. It might be the missing piece that turns the vision of Mission Sudarshan Chakra into reality, creating a nearly impenetrable AI-driven shield for the nation. The question really isn't if this is the future anymore, but how soon it's going to arrive.